Good afternoon. We are here for yet another episode of Voices of Impact, Journeys of YPO Members, and we actually are joined by someone who I call a dear friend and a fellow YPO member. I have Hafez AlSayed with me. Hafez, welcome.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you for everyone who's really put this together. Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. And like I said, you and I have had a wonderful journey together, and being in the region, being learning officers together. A lot of people think it's a lot of fun, but it's like putting a gun to your head. I know, I know how it is, and yeah. So today is a free flow conversation, like we always have had.
It's a funny thing, right? In a YPO, like how people meet, right? Like how I met you, Harry, right? So I went to dinner to my forum buddy, and we had a dinner. You were there in the same. You were in a different chapter. We haven't met, and then we met in one lunch over dinner. Over a dinner. And we talked. Then again, we met again as a learning officers, and we just had so much work and fun. But imagine like this crossing roads in the beginning, how much helped us to coordinate together. And this is YPO. Like you just meet peers, you just meet members, and this is what I really love about YPO is you just get out of your network, you get out of your expectations. You always come, you just hear different opinions, and the opinions you hear them is like massive, man. Like you start unlearning and start learning again.
No, I love how you brought up that whole unlearning and learning part of it. I know you've done 70 events or maybe more, in your 7 years of being in YPO. I look at fellow champions and I'm like, why do we do what we're doing? And then take us through some of that part of your journey.
Yeah. So I joined YPO almost 7 years back, and when I joined YPO, I said like, well, what's that? Like I have no idea what is YPO about. I was searching for young companies for CEOs. I was around 26 years old at that time. I was eligible for the role to be in YPO. I read the rules. And they said, yeah, I'm going to join that company. So I was searching for young company for CEOs. And then I found Young Presidents Organization. And then I just joined, and they said, okay, your application's been accepted. And they went for interview and met the chapters. In the beginning, I had no idea what is YPO. And I learned about YPO not before joining it, but after joining it, which is also the same case with everyone, right?
No, I mean, in my case, it is a little different, where I've always heard about the organization. I've heard about the great things about the organization, but I've never seen a member's perspective from it. And then when I met more people is when I started getting very, very interested in what's happening. But, before we jump there, tell us about what you do in your business.
Thank you. I run a holding company, so we mostly tech focused, but also we have different industries. We are into engineering, we are into software, which is most of it is AI now. We are into retail, and we are into healthcare. So we run multiple companies within the group and operate in UAE and in the US mostly.
And I know you do a lot of tech work, and you do a lot of tech work with young founders. And take us a little bit.
This is a passion project. So part of the group, we created Utopia Lab. Utopia Lab is basically we help companies to start up their business, so young entrepreneurs. And part of it is there's something called Founder Program. So we teach them in 4 weeks how to set up a company from idea to launch.
Oh, wow. Okay. And how many companies have you put through that?
We started the program just recently, so we were not doing it officially. And so far, we've done over 12 companies with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and doing that in GCC. In fact, we've spoken a lot about doing this in GCC, and thank you for leading it from the front. And I'd definitely love to learn a little more. And maybe I should connect you to more people, who are keen in looking at this.
Yeah, and we have some of our members. They are sending their kids for internship, and to our office, and tell them, no, we'll not do an internship. I don't like the word internship. They say we don't give them a certificate for internship. We give them a company. So they come for 4 weeks and they graduate from the program with a company. And
wow.
This is just a passion project on my side where I want to do more to the community, which is YPO is a great place to be inspired. And there are so many companies I've created just from a side conversation. Like, someone's doing this, someone's doing that, you get inspired. And you have this kind of aha moment, like say, and okay, where it makes all sense. And you think you're not crazy anymore, but and then you learn from that.
And batting off that, what is the impact that YPO has had on you, if you were to?
Well, I think there's multiple stages. I think business-wise, personal, and family. I think there's impact in every single piece of my life by YPO, and this is part of my journey with the board or with the learning. I've served over 4 years with the board. I've done 3 roles in the learning. So almost 250 events I coordinated. I've done in my role around 70 events, and I do it because I want to give back what I'm getting. So you feel a little bit of social responsibility.
No, great that you bring it up. In fact, that's something that keeps us as a tribe together. I think we give so much as the gift of time, for the community at large. And today, with about 38,000 of us across the world, I tell people that in 2 clicks you can reach anyone in the world, and that's the power of what I have seen as the network. And from your side, is there, if a prospect were looking at this video, is there something that you would want to tell them from your journey?
So I think as I said, YPO is very hard to know about it unless you are in it. This is at least my experience. I think if someone want to join YPO, they have to think what they will learn out of it, what they were going to contribute in it. It's not like a business network. See, there's like business relationships, there's social impact, but YPO is not just for the member. And this is the wrong perspective. It's for the family. It's for the kids. It's for everyone in the family. So this is where I feel like if they want to join YPO, they have to think as a whole, like what they're going to get out of it. And as I said, in YPO, you get a lot out of it, but also you feel like you want to contribute. So maybe you are in 1 or 2 years in YPO, then you start, I want to champion more events. I want to do more. And everyone's supportive, Harry.
No, it's very fulfilling, and like you rightly pointed out. And one thing that I also thought we should talk about. I know you and I are in a lot of networks together. A lot of people, when they look at YPO, they think it's a local chapter. You don't see anything outside of this, but I know you and I have benefited a lot from networks. I know. So anything you've personally taken away from that?
Well, I joined. I think I have over 12 networks, and this also is not good to do. Trust me. So I also recommend get into network where you're gonna be contributing. It's as similar as like a group or a social, or think about it. It's a chapter by topic, right? So if you're interested in healthcare, then you go to healthcare network, but try to join to contribute, not just to see emails and see people and be ghost. So I've done so many networks, and inside the networks, there's a sub-network. So for example, in the technology network, there's a sub-network for AI, ML. There is a technology for digital transform, and so on. Even healthcare, same thing. Then you can go even more specialized on what the sub-network you want. And this is where you meet members all around the world with the same interest. So for example, I'm very passionate about AI. Yeah. So we have a group about AI, and we have almost, I think, around 300 people in there. And they know I'm not the only crazy one there over there with this AI era, right? So there are so many people, they chatting every day, they talk about what they're finding out, and man, it's so fulfilling to see this and to be part of it. And for real, this is really massive. Imagine doing that also for all topics, logistics, healthcare and all that related, entrepreneurship. So it also could be a topic, not certainly an industry. Oil and gas, for example, like if you're going to an exhibition, you want to see who's there, best options for you to go to the network.
Go to the network, right.
And so on. So there are so many, I'm not sure how many, but I think over 32 or something
I
like
heard
that.
32 plus networks. But like you pointed out, I think if you want to really find your tribe, that's the good part. And someone told me saying if you're a pet lover, if you're a watch lover, if you are like, all kinds of things. And then, once entrepreneurs of this scale are in the same group, it's going to be a great.
There's also networks for book readers where they can review books. There's networks for divers. I think it's not really called network, it's community.
Community.
There's also community and there is a network. Community where it's more unofficial kind of.
No, communities, is something that was piloted last year, and this was more to have more like a network setup with self-governance. So networks are today governed by the YPO International.
I see.
But the communities is something where it pretty much runs like a chapter where you're open to go ahead and set your own charter. And the first example that you pointed out is the YPO Diverse community, which is there. In fact, incidentally, I am the engagement officer of that community, and we both keep surprising each other with the roles that we keep having. Yeah. But it's been really,
and it's well. I think networks is also managed like a chapter. So there you have roles. It's a serious work, and many people. I haven't done a role as a. I'm considering few roles right now, but. It's so much rewarding in terms of knowledge, in terms of contribution, because you think worldwide, right? So you don't think in your region or your country. You look at a higher landscape.
No, absolutely. And one thought that just came as I was listening to you say this. I know we call the world a canvas, for us. And how has YPO helped you to actually scale and shape your own journey and business?
Yeah. So business-wise, I think I've already went to the Global Summit, YPO Business Global Summit. This was a very good eye-opener for multiple things. And as I said, for me in business, we don't deal directly like in a business relation, but it's an outcome. So someone knows someone. There's a needs and leads groups. You wanna be introduced to a certain company. So you post it in the needs and leads in our region, GCC, Middle East. There is 1,000 members over there. So in seconds, you get a referral. You get an introduction. You get... so this was very helpful. And part of the scaling is basically the inspiration.
Oh, absolutely.
And especially from my forum members, because, forum is another topic. It's a huge topic. So we... maybe we need a 2 hours podcast, Harry.
No, so and just summing this up, is there one thing you want to add for anyone who's looking at it in like an elevator pitch? If I were to give, that's.
I think if you I think once you are in YPO, your ambition and horizon will expand naturally. It's a must.
No, I like how you say that. In fact,
it is like if you look at, for example, we've done one learning session. Like I don't want to mention names, but he says, "What is your goal?" Let's say 1,000, right? So no, you add just 2 zeros. It's now 100,000. It's 1 million. It's 100 million. It's the multiplication of ambition and horizon and what can be done is massive. And I think I'm being inspired a lot by brilliant minds in YPO.
No, I know a professor who used to say this, saying, if there is a 0, put a 1 before it, is what would be there. So that's another way of looking at it.
I'm not sure mathematically, is it more than 2 zeros?
No, absolutely. So thank you, Hafez. I know it was a great, I know, like you said, we need 2 more hours to actually get through, most of what we've done. And it's been an absolute pleasure, serving by your side and actually being part of the wonderful, community.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you for having me, and wish you all the best. And thank you for putting this program together.
Thank you for that. And until we see you guys on the next episode. Signing off from Dubai this afternoon. Thank you.